Hey, yo, everybody, welcome to the Amalgam Games Lab. I'm your host, Shannon Hagler, alongside Keena Johnston. Thanks for that. Thanks for the backup. We have subscribers now, and this is what you bring to the table. God almighty.
No, I honestly can't think of anything to say.
Yeah, well, you know.
Which is what I usually say, but I didn't say it this time, but then I said it.
Yeah, that's super weird. But hey, you know. We have subscribers now. Thank you.
Yay, thank you. We finally have youtube.com/The Amalgam Show.
Yeah.
Which is just easy to say.
Exactly, yeah. youtube.com/The Amalgam Show. We have got also our all our social media at The Amalgam Show, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And we're now on iTunes.
Yes.
We got an Apple iTunes. We're a proper podcast.
Yes. We've got to figure out how to syndicate that out elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're also on Spotify.
Yes.
So the two main platforms, we're there. I can't subscribe. Oh, no, I can. The podcast app I use on Android, it uses the iTunes database.
Yeah, as do a lot of them use that. They pull
like
from
it
the
directly
iTunes.
uses it, but I know like other ones can go
Can use
specifically
different
to
ones,
those apps.
So yeah, check us out there. If you do like what you see, leave a like below, comment, and subscribe, please. Alrighty, let's get into it. What have you been playing this weekend?
I finished Final Fantasy IX.
You told me about that. How did you go? What was it like?
It's really, really, really good.
It's a really good game.
Really enjoyed it. Like
It's good.
To the point where like it's so good that my housemate was coming in and out because of playing it in docked mode.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, I'm attached to these characters that
Yes.
am not like super paying attention to the story of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, no, it is really good. Like I don't know. And like I would tell her like stuff that she's missed, like, oh, the stuff with Terra happened and blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh yeah, because that was her biggest concern. Just like, why is Zidane a monkey boy? Why? I'm like, it's the 90s. Like Goku was popular.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, there's always that that sort of running underlying theme throughout most Japanese media in the 90s of like, oh, Song Wukong's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Like everything is just that.
Yeah. Thanks, China. We'll steal that from you. Another thing.
Yes. Yeah. And we'll just do that over and over and over and over again. Hey, you find something good, it works.
Yeah.
But no, that story is really great. The character development, I think, is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm still plodding away at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this like what we're playing stuff's gonna be mostly you because I was sick for like a week and a half. Like I was that kind of sick where like it hurt to look at a screen, so I just kind of like laid in bed and put on like some Netflix in the background. Like occasionally rolled over and tried to play Pokemon on my 3DS, but like I bought Sekiro. I haven't played it because like I bought Sekiro and I was like, oh, I should play this game like around release. I was hoping to get maybe a review up for it, but I probably won't do that for like another month now.
Yeah.
But the problem was like I know it's a From Software game. I know what it is. I know what I'm going into. And so when I got it, and like the day after I got sick, and I was like, oh well, I took a couple of days off work so I could play it. But then my mind was just like, I'm not in the mental state to play this game. Like I am completely wrecked from this flu. So if I try to do this, it's not going to work. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to understand it. I need to just leave it. So I just left it there. So it's still sitting there.
Did you install it and everything?
No.
You should do that.
I should do that.
Yeah.
Which I probably will, like today or tomorrow or something like that. But I just haven't touched it because like I haven't been in the mental space because I know I need like a clear head and probably energy and probably at least like an 8-hour chunk to just kind of sink into it.
Yeah.
Because it's not the kind of game where. It probably is the kind of game where once you've gotten used to it, you can play in like 30 or 40 minute chunks.
Yeah.
Like do a little bit a night kind of thing. But I feel like I'm going to need like a whole day to start that game and learn it and get deep into it. And then once I feel comfortable with it, then I can start doing it in chunks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's mostly going to be you. So any other thoughts on Final Fantasy IX?
Specifically for the Switch port, I think it's a kind of a lazy port because...
How so?
They don't incorporate any of the Switch's features. Like, it would be great. Like, this game has already been ported to smartphones. Like, don't necessarily have it to be, like, those ugly touch designs, like, just big buttons and stuff. But just let me, like, tap the thing to scroll through dialogue. Like, just tap the screen to scroll through dialogue instead of pressing A.
Why would you need that, though?
Playing with one hand. Like... Pokemon's like probably one of the best games to play one-handed because you can shift one of the buttons to the shoulder buttons, A to thing, and then you can just do whatever. Final Fantasy 9, and there's that. Do you think touch would be? I don't know, just
I get what you're saying, but also I'm just
it's not like a integral part, but I'm just like you got like put the budget into it. Square Enix. That's my other problem. This is just systemic of Square's lazy porting to everywhere. Like they just take the mobile version that they made half-assed and just port that everywhere.
I mean, the thing is that this specific remake is not half-assed.
Yeah, no.
It's a once-over HD like remake of this game, and like the UI itself is completely redone.
Yeah.
So like it's not half-assed. It is just a port of the PC version.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, I just don't see the point in putting in anything extra that's like specific to the Switch because it's not the main platform. It's not the thing they want to sell it on.
It's selling well on the Switch.
Of course it will, because it's the Switch. Everything sells well on the Switch. But, like, everything will sell on the Switch regardless of its feature set.
Yeah.
So, like, I just don't see, like... Okay. Like, real talk. Fuck, don't put effort into the Final Fantasy 9 port when you've got the Final Fantasy 7 remake and a new Final Fantasy to make. Like, fucking just do shit. Yeah.
Yes.
Or, don't put effort into this. Give me my fucking 8 remaster. Yeah. Screw you, you bastard. Also, fuck that guy for that April Fool's bullshit. Whatever his name was. Fuck him.
Fuck Ed McGee. There's also stuff like the HD Rumble. It's fucking intense. Like
that's HD Rumble in a nutshell, though.
Is it? Like I've never had it. Like I played Zelda that way, and it was never that intense. Like this is like just fucking.
Because it would be running off of the original coding.
Yeah.
Which I would assume when the Rumble, it's just like, hey, Rumble, full tilt. So it's giving you full Rumble.
Yeah.
Which, back in the day, you could get like levels of Rumble, but full Rumble wasn't that big. But when you're doing full Rumble on HD Rumble stuff, it fucking throws it off. And it's just, no one has, just like any of Nintendo's like weird peripheral stuff.
Yeah.
No one's figured out how to use it properly yet, other than a couple of Nintendo studios, like 1-2 Switch makers and stuff like that. So, of course, when that thing is incorporated in any third-party design, it's janky as fuck.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is.
It was just super distracting because it's so loud, it's so intense.
That's why I always have Rumble off.
Yeah, I like it though, but it's, I don't know. But also, I don't know. I played with the Joy Grip, which is, it's an RPG, I don't need full control. And I didn't want to use my PS4 controller because it is an A-B, specific buttons game, I didn't want to, confuse myself, which tends to happen. When I play, Yoshi or something like that, I might use my PlayStation controller. Yoshi looks really good. I keep seeing the trailers, and I keep getting ads for it. I'm just going to
watch this. It looks really nice.
The music's just nice.
Yeah.
I can't afford any new games, which is why I've played old games. Finished Moss VR.
Yeah.
Moss is a really sweet game. Yeah. It is, you're a little mouse running around trying to save your uncle. Yes.
Yeah. Good feel-good game.
Yeah. Oh, it is dark because you...
Yeah.
But, it's cute. The world, I think, is realised to what they want it to be. It's a very it is a storybook game, to the point where, each chapter is... in between each chapter, there's the cutscenes are in book forms, you're reading the book in slightly moving pictures, and then to do it, you hold R2 to move the page over.
Ah, cool.
You physically turn the page, and I'm that's cool. So you're going to the next chapter. The worst part of that is that it just shoots blinding light straight into your eyes because you're in VR. And you're like, oh fuck, that's maybe turn it down or maybe don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. What are you doing that for? Man, that's weird.
And then the ending is very much wait for book 2. I'm cool.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize this thing was okay. I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. It doesn't. There's no official announcement. I think they're waiting to see
how
if
VR does.
Yeah, VR does, and if this made enough money back. And I think it has. It's gotten enough critical acclaim and enough people talk about it.
No, well, I was gonna say if the first news story is any indication, VR's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Which is good, I think. Also,
how long is Moss?
4 hours.
Jeez, okay. Yeah, no.
Nice and short.
Yeah, I continue to be fascinated at the length of VR games. Are they 20-minute experiences that you basically play once and never touch again, or that have replayability for novel reasons, or are they longer experiences Like, I just haven't heard a lot of people who are like, I only play Skyrim in VR. Like, no.
That is I was researching around and everyone's like, this is the worst way to play this game. Just go buy the special edition.
Yeah.
Skyrim is probably the longest game.
It would have to be VR as well, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is. So
Fallout
who the
4.
fuck knows? There's another game coming up which we'll talk about in terms of length. But then there's also like Astrobot and Moss. Like they are short games. Astrobot's probably 6 hours long. That's a platformer and it's like nice. It gets to the point.
Platformer length.
Yeah. It feels very Mario despite me playing not many Mario games. And that's a thumbs up.
Yeah.
But it's super interesting and let's just segue into it. The Iron Man VR game that's coming out. People just played it and it's good. It makes you feel like Iron Man, but is it just going to be the one? Because I also played the Spider-Man Homecoming. Yeah, I think that was ages ago. And that is you shoot a couple webs, you web swing up, and then you watch the Vulture monologue, and then he flies away. That's the end of the demo.
Yeah,
that's bad.
This isn't what I mean. It's such a weird sort of crossover week with news here. It's Iron Man game. This isn't what I want. This is not what I want. I don't want first person Iron Man because that's just a flight simulator. That doesn't make me feel like Iron Man.
Yeah.
What I want from an Iron Man game is Anthem. I want that.
Yeah.
I want that control as Iron Man.
Yeah.
I want to be able to run him across the thing and jump and then make modifications to my suit as the storyline progresses and a proper Iron Man game, like a Spider-Man game but as Iron Man. Which I think Insomniac could do a great job with if you gave them the Iron Man IP and you guys make one of these as well. Using this tech that you had in Spider-Man, make one of these. They could do that.
Yeah. BioWare could if their company wasn't fucked from the top down.
We'll get into that. But with Sony's with that Iron Man VR game announcement, also Iron Man sounded weird.
I didn't hear him long enough to form an opinion.
It didn't. It took me a second to figure out this was an Iron Man game because even though the Tony Stark they've got said oh yeah, hey Friday, what's that? And there was all these stuff that oh yeah, that's Iron Man talking. He didn't sound right, so I was just
You're right, because when he said hey Friday, I'm wait, what? That's not a thing he says. Oh wait, Friday the new AI. Why not? Mm-hmm. What is this set in? Is this MCU game or is it?
I think it's modern, more modern.
I suppose
iterations of Iron Man. Jarvis just isn't a thing at this point. But either way, the stuff he was saying was that's Iron Man things to say, but the way he was saying them didn't sound like Iron Man. I think the problem was he didn't sound cocky enough. Yeah, he just sounded like a dude. Yeah. I was no. Iron Man needs to be up himself in the best possible way.
Yeah.
And he wasn't, so it just rubbed me the wrong way. Also, it doesn't, because it's a VR game, it doesn't look as cool as I want. It was just it was a really weird thing to start with.
It was a very interesting thing to start the state of play with.
It says a lot about what the state of play actually. Okay, so we should talk about what this is. State of play. Sony's doing directs now.
Yeah,
apparently.
Great.
Yeah, sure. Why not? They should have done this. They should have done this when they had more. This is a really lame start, is basically my thing. It's like Nintendo Directs. So Nintendo has a really good way of messaging beforehand.
Yeah.
So when a Direct's going to be big, you know it.
Yeah.
They will message things ahead of time that don't tell you what's going to happen because they want surprises, but give you the sense of this is what this is going to be.
Yeah.
I can watch this one because there is anticipation. Or they will mark it ahead of time it's an indies or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or it's only going to be blah minutes long and it's going to be mostly focused on blur or whatever combination they come up with. They will tell you ahead of time what to expect. So when you go into a direct, you're cool, well, I'm not going to... the last couple of directs before the Pokemon one, everyone was we're going to get Pokemon news, And the answer was no.
Yeah.
Because they told you They never said that this was going... They didn't say Pokemon was going to be there, so therefore Pokemon was not going... they will tell you when Pokemon's going to be there.
Yeah.
There is no ambiguity when it comes to Pokemon.
Yeah.
This is a Pokemon Direct. Yeah. They give it its own shot, spotlight.
Yeah.
So there's always a level set of expectation for Nintendo Directs. With State of Play, it was like, we're going to do this thing, State of Play, and I'm like, okay, if you want people to be interested in this idea, you need to come out swinging. 15 minutes of VR games, Mortal Kombat demo and Days Gone? Nah.
I get that. As someone who has a PSVR, I'm excited to just see that there is more support. And like No Man's Sky getting VR support, like that's interesting. I'll re-download that game and give it a go.
Again, I'm not saying what they showed was bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if they were going to do this, they should have given me either a look into a game that gave me a different feeling. So if they were going to do this and have the exact same lineup, and they were going to have Dave's Gone, you needed to show me something from that game that I haven't already seen and that was going to make me want to buy it. Because at this point, I still don't want that fucking game. It comes out the same day as Avengers Endgame, so fuck that game. Like, I don't care.
That's fair. I know a lot of people were sold on it because, like, oh, characters I should care about and like that. I'm like, I wanted to see gameplay, and like we've seen so much gameplay. Then like, I know what you're going for, but I'm just like, there needs to be something. Show me the bike riding mechanics or something.
Yeah,
they keep talking about that. They keep talking about the Sons of Anarchy shit. Show me that.
Show me the openness of this game so far. Because all I've ever seen is like corridor play, like where it's like, oh, you go down to the thing and you do all this little side mission thing, and it's very much a linear path. Show me the open world shit. Show me what happens when I like look across, because I've heard of stuff about how like the weather is really dynamic in this game, so like, you can see a storm rolling in on the distance. Like, show me that shit. Yeah, show me it. No, okay, fine.
Do a stupid like Red Dead Redemption style trailer. Here are the weather effects, and this is how it will impact your game. Slugging through the snow will kill you, and then here comes a fucking grizzly bear.
But the other thing is like, this game just seems so self-serious and boring so far. Like, I kind of want them to do something wacky. Like, show me, what are my weapons looking like in this game? Give me the upgrades. Show me, what's the skill tree? Is there a skill tree? Like, what am I doing? Yeah. What am I doing in this fucking game? Yeah. Because at the moment, it seems like a zombie apocalypse movie that happens to be an open world game. Yeah. Because everything's so self-serious and ridiculous. I'm like, show me what I need to fucking do. So yeah, if they were going to stick with this lineup, they needed to show me something from one of these games that was like crazy. The Mortal Kombat 11 stuff was cool.
It's so cool.
Mortal Kombat 11 is just great.
That was a great trailer. Like, I know it sold me and a lot of other people. I'm like, oh, this is what the tone of this is? I'll play this for the story mode. Like, just, why the fuck not? Like, I had no vested interest in Mortal Kombat besides other people's, like, intense love of those games. I'm like, okay, cool. But, like, NetherRealm, since Mortal Kombat 9 has knocked it out with their story modes, like Injustice 1 and 2 are great. I've heard, 9 and 10 are great, so why the fuck not just introduce time travel?
The Mortal Kombat, the Shang Tsung reveal was awesome as well. I fucking love that. I love that movie. It's the best bad movie there ever has been. But yeah,
sorry, I just want to say, talking about the messaging of some of this, like they did the Crash Team Racing update, like, coming with all new update. They didn't tell you what it was, unless you know what the fuck that game is. You don't know what the new stuff. The new content.
I thought the update was, well, I thought the thing they were revealing in that trailer was the like switch between old graphics, new graphics.
Was that in there?
That's what that was. Like,
or was that a graphics comparison?
Yeah, basically, it was like, here's what it like. I don't know if it was like a full like, oh, you can play it as if it was the old PS1 graphics, because it wasn't that bad. Yeah. But every character was going through like a thing, and there was like a wipe that happened, and they would go to being a little bit more blocky and like a little bit less textured and like it looked like there was like some sort of like PS1 mode where they would like flatten out the colors, make everything big polygons.
See, that's the thing. The fact that I'm like, what? I didn't like. I know there were news stories afterwards, like, hey, that update is Crash Nitro Kart levels coming to to Team Racing. Cool. And I'm like, cool. What a fucking just put that as a big word on there, like Nitro Kart. Come on, but it's like they also remixed because like it had a bunch of like anti-grav stuff that people don't enjoy. I remember liking Nitro Kart a lot. Yeah, but I also didn't play Team, so.
That sort of like up the wall and like Mario Kart's been doing that for a couple of games now, and it's people like it. Yeah. So like if you do it right, it can be done. Yeah. So if they've tweaked it a little bit, that's fine. Yeah. But yeah, what I was going to say is if they stuck to this, if they were going to stick to this particular lineup for State of Play, they needed to show me something from these games that would actually make me go, okay, cool, I'm going to go play that. Yeah. Or
Mortal Kombat was the closest for me.
Yeah, but even then, because like the Mortal Kombat was one of those ones like, well, if you're gonna play that game, you're gonna play that game.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's actually gonna. There's not a trailer you can make that's gonna make someone go like, I don't want to play Mortal Kombat. Oh, actually, no, I might play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
The Mortal Kombat's a known quantity.
Yeah.
You either play it or you don't.
Yeah.
They either stick with that and give me something new, or they needed to announce something out of left field.
Yeah.
They needed to give me a Last of Us 2 release date. They needed to give me a new trailer on Ghost of Tsushima.
That's the one that could have been there that I think, like,
Or-
what is that? How far along is that? I think, I was going to say, well, they'll do something at D3. They won't.
No.
There will be probably a Ghost of Tsushima direct. I'm just going to call them directs.
Yeah. Or it was either that or they give me something totally brand new. Like
and I think that's what the
IP.
point of Iron Man was, to like, hey, Iron Man VR. And that's interesting.
It is, but talk about coming out with a limp dick. Like, it just didn't, like, I get it. Like, I can see where the thought process was.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're going to kick this thing off. You know what's popular right now? Marvel. You know what we've got? An Iron Man VR game. You're like, that's a great combination of things in theory.
Yeah.
In practice, it's lackluster at best.
I think maybe they're banking on the fact that Spider-Man was a success. If you can expect that kind of pedigree from Marvel games, it's like, hey, they choose the developers correctly, and you can have just as much fun or the same kind of fun from like Spider-Man and other Marvel games.
Yeah.
Iron Man will tickle your fancy in VR.
Yeah, I'm sure it will in VR, which I'm not sure what the percentages are yet, but I don't think the percentage of people who own a VR is that high.
The recent sale numbers came out, and it's 4 million units sold.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But it's still like it's 4 million units out of 80 million plus
Yeah.
PS4s that are out there. Whereas if you made, like I said, if you made the Iron Man game I want to make, I think that's easily 10 million plus units.
Oh, yeah, easily. But I think that's kind of the point of the Iron Man game on VR. It's just like, hey, we're still going to give you really good games for the VR unit.
Yeah.
Like, you will be able to play this. It's not a Vita. We're not putting it out and then letting it die. It's not the initial PlayStation move.
No, and
putting it out, like, they're showing support, which PlayStation hasn't done for a peripheral.
And that is very heartening to see them like actually put in the effort for that one, and that's good. But like I said, like they could have had exactly the same thing that they did. I just felt like they needed either one big release date we didn't already know about, or one new game we didn't know about that was bigger than a VR game. There's something that everyone could get excited about.
Yeah.
They just didn't do either of those things. So it was just kind of like this Sony Direct, this Sony State of Play, its first one felt like a mid-level Nintendo one.
Yeah. It's an indies game. Just happen to have 2 AAA games in there, or 3.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Whereas when Nintendo does a big one,
they go. Yeah.
they go all out. They hit it out of the park. Like the direct that did the Switch announcement with like fucking Super Mario Odyssey, just coming out of nowhere with that one, because everyone was like, oh well, Zelda will launch and then we'll probably won't see anything for a while. And they're like, no motherfuckers, we're gonna have 2 big announcements, big games in the first 6 months of this game.
It's very PlayStation this year has to tread the fine line of, we want to show you stuff, and it's not just going to be blog posts on the PlayStation blog, but we also can't come out with a fuck ton of things, because then why wouldn't we have just gone to E3? Yeah, and then cancelled PSX?
I just think they don't have a lot, because I think it's weird that this has happened, because this hasn't happened in previous generations, where it feels like they're not wanting to show anything for next gen. Because in previous years, like I remember the E3 before 360 and PS3 went dead, a lot of the games that happened that year were actually running or playing on PS4 or Xbox One specs.
Like high PC stuff.
Yeah. And they were basically showing you next-gen games, but saying it was going to be for 360 and PS3. And then announcing...
Wink, wink.
Exactly. So they were doing a lot of that. It feels like this time around they're not wanting to do that. I feel like every game that we have seen that has not yet released will be releasing on the current gen of hardware. Yeah. Anything outside of that we haven't seen yet. Yeah. We'll get ports probably of like Last of Us and probably Cyberpunk.
I know CG Projekt Red just said, we're kind of aiming for next gen, just because 1, that'll be when it launches, and 2, it'll look better for consoles. So
yeah. So like, there's some weird stuff there, but it feels like the first time that, because Yeah, every previous generation they've ended up, before the next generation of hardware is announced, they end up showing a few games from that hardware and makes everyone go, Jesus, that thing looks really good. And because no one's expecting the next hardware just yet, they go, that's really fucking, that looks so good on that 360. And then, surprise, no, it's not running on a 360, it's running on a 1. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. This time, like, there's no games that I'm looking at going, oh, that's a next-gen game. Maybe Halo Infinite.
Halo Infinite, but that doesn't look like one. It just seems like one.
We barely saw anything.
Yeah, true.
We saw a CG trailer, that was it, so...
What's the other point? Also, E3 hasn't happened. And that's where we get this, like, Ubisoft could show Dreams, Splinter Cell, looking like what Watch Dogs did. Like, that kind of thing. Yeah, I know Watch Dogs isn't a good thing to invoke, but that's what I'm thinking of in this scenario. Like, I'm not going to do Assassin's Creed, but yeah... I don't know, Ubisoft to pull something out of their arse, they always do.
Yeah, they'll give us something. They usually do. They have confirmed, I think you had that story in there, they have confirmed that they're doing a E3 press conference. Did you have it in there?
No, I didn't put it in there, but
they did confirm they're doing E3.
Yeah, I think it might have been last week or something. But yeah, they're doing
So like now the E3 lineup is what? We've got Microsoft, Bethesda, Ubisoft.
I think that's it, because EA is there, but they're doing... tree houses, basically. Nintendo?
Because honestly, what the fuck are you going to say? Anyway.
Is Nintendo there?
Nintendo will be there, but they don't have a press conference. They have the Direct.
Yeah.
So they'll have a Direct,
yeah.
Which I think will be Pokemon related.
We'll get Pokemon, a Zelda, Link's Awakening update. We'll get that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bethesda's the one I'm interested in.
Oh, Bethesda is the one I was interested in if EA wasn't going to be there, which they're not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy.
I think, because I remember the impression I had of Directs during the Wii U 3DS era was these are just games no one cares about. And also, I had no interest in the Wii U. So, like, even if there was a good game like Pikmin 3 or... I know there are other games, I'm not being facetious. But yeah, like, those kind of things, I'm like, no. But now the Directs, like, one, I have a Switch now, but, like, they're also well-produced now.
Yeah.
But I think this was a well-produced show. Like, it was paced well. It's just the content of it.
I don't know,
this is the ground.
It felt very mechanical to me.
Yeah.
So the thing with a Nintendo Direct is that they usually have a human being presenting the thing. Starting with Iwata when they first started these things. And his thing was always like, the whole point with the Nintendo Direct was that it is Nintendo Direct. Nintendo directly to its fans. I am talking to you. They used to do that thing where they would like do the breathing thing where they're like... It was super weird. They're like, okay.
I think that's sort of the era I'm thinking of with the Direct. I'm like, that's fucking weird. Like, and then like,
and it was just them like trying to be like, we are talking to you. Like they were trying to get that whole point across in a very weird Japanese way of like, yes, we are talking to you directly. And this doesn't feel like that because it was just a voiceover and some panes of glass. And there's no people.
Yeah.
And Sony's been having that problem, I think, for a while.
Yeah.
Because, like, the last E3 press conference was that fucking performance artist weird shit. Like, move around and explore the worlds and fucking... And then the one before that was the one where they were just like, live orchestra, videotape.
Sean Layden comes out every now and then.
Yeah. And then...
Which is basically a Direct.
Basically. But yeah, and then before that, like, they're losing... Yeah. They're starting to lose the human touch to this.
Yeah.
Which I think... even in this day and age, is still absolutely necessary for any type of pitch or marketing or sales, is the human touch.
Yeah.
And they are... they're losing that when Microsoft is figuring it out. Because they have way more developers on stage. Like, you know, all these different people who make games, who talk about games. They get them from all ends of the spectrum, you know, different, you know, people of color, races, genders, all this different stuff. They try and diversify their presence on stage. Whereas Sony continues to just be Sean Layden every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Which, you know, don't get me wrong, Sean Layden's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's got an authoritative delivery and, you know, he speaks from the heart most of the time. Like,
and the script. Both.
And the script, yeah, exactly. I mean,
you can tell that it's both. That's what I mean. But
he's not a public speaker. He's not the kind of person who gets up and does motivational speaking. He reads the script, but he reads the script better than most.
Yeah.
I think his delivery's a little bit less robotic than, say, Phil Spencer's.
Yes.
Because Phil Spencer very much is reading off a teleprompter when he's doing his stuff.
But I think He probably also wrote the script. He's just also not the best public speaker. But he's like, he knows he's the face of Xbox, so him being there just helps get the point. It's like Microsoft cares. We know we're struggling. Mm-hmm. We bought every public developer. We bought all of them. Please buy an Xbox. It seems like that.
The thing with Phil Spencer is that he's always better in like interviews.
Yeah,
he's better when he's just talking. Whereas Sean Layden comes across as like slightly more human. Slightly on stage.
Yeah.
Off stage, like in interviews, Sean
He's in
Layden,
PR mode.
Yeah, in interviews, Sean Layden is the same as he is on stage. Like he's still that exact same.
Yeah.
So when you get him in an interview, you're like, oh wait, no, he is a robot man.
Yeah.
But Phil Spencer is a human.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's this weird thing where like Sony's just losing that touch of humanity that they had at the start of the generation when they did that thing of like, this is how you share a game.
Yeah.
Like they had it, they nailed it, and they've just been slowly losing it over the years. So yeah, the state of play stuff is meh. I hope their next one's better, which I would assume their next one will probably be around E3 time, like the week before or week after.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Because they'll be like, we got announcements. But yeah, E3's like, so it's Microsoft, Bethesda, Ubisoft, Nintendo with the Direct. But
I think that's it. Like, I don't know about Devolver.
I think they do something every year, but no one really looks at it.
I watched 2 of them. They were fucking weird.
Yeah, I think that's why no one looks at them. Everyone, from what I understand, most of the people send like a journalist there. They take all of the information and they just spit it out at the end. Like, these are the things you need to know because the rest of it was dog shit.
The PC press conference will probably be there. That never seems to go away.
Yeah, and
no one watches
maybe Square Enix has one because they had one last year.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Square.
So Square Enix might have another one.
Square's was horrible last year. Oh, fuck, why did you make me remember that?
Well, this year, I don't know, because Quiet Man 2, that's what we're getting. Oh, yeah, buddy.
No, I can see them doing one in terms of like, here's the Dragon Age 11 Switch port. We're going to show that again.
Yeah.
Here's... I know there's other stuff.
That Babylon game.
Babylon Falls, yeah.
Yeah, well...
I thought that was...
Something there. Maybe we finally find that... Is that Avengers game? Was that...
Yeah. That's them through Crystal Dynamics.
Is that still happening?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's the thing that was revealed when they literally got the license, so they hadn't even started prep on it. So we'll probably.
So maybe that shows up there. Who knows? There's some stuff that could happen there.
I was gonna say Hitman. Rip.
No Hitman. No Tomb Raider.
And no Deus Ex.
No Deus Ex. No.
Oof.
No.
Maybe a new IP from the Western side. Maybe.
No, they're killing the Western side. They won't do anything there. Your biggest possibilities are a Final Fantasy VII remake update. Yeah. Not necessarily a release date or anything like that, but just a hey guys, it's still afloat. We might as well move into the Square Enix stuff now.
Oh yeah.
While we're here. But yeah, like an update being like, yeah, this thing's still alive.
Yeah.
If you count being shocked with a electric stun gun every 4 minutes to keep its heart beating as alive.
I think that game is in earnest development.
Of course it is, but it's been in earnest development now for, come this E3, it will be 4 years since the announcement.
And they restarted halfway through, so...
Yeah. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Like, if I was giving them the benefit of the doubt and didn't know about anything in the back end of Final Fantasy VII's remake, I would say that it would be reasonable to expect, given the announcement was 2015, it would be reasonable to expect that it would release in 2020.
Yeah.
I don't think not a chance.
Nope.
Because like that's a 5-year development cycle. That's okay, cool. We're gonna make a new engine. We're gonna redo the entire thing from the ground up. We're gonna make it as it is, and that's going there. But I think they've already got the engine.
Is it?
I think they're using the Luminous engine, aren't they? Or they're using Unreal because they're using.
I want to say they're using Unreal, but I wouldn't fucking.
Same as Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts.
3.
Kingdom Hearts 3 was Unreal.
2.9.
I want to say it on Unreal, but. I know they've made some weird things. It's like, well, this is on Luminous. Like, why the fuck are you using that broken engine?
It's not, well...
It's really hard to develop for.
It is, yeah. But the thing is, like, the Luminous engine, I think, is gorgeous.
Yeah, no, it can be. We saw Versus look great. Like...
Yeah. I mean, even Final Fantasy 15 looks great. It was just that it wasn't... 15 was... Its problem wasn't the engine. Its problem was the development. Like, they just kept restarting it and kicking it and killing it and then bringing it back to life. And it was like, God... If a development studio was given the chance, like, here's the Luminous engine, make a game, and then it was hands off from there, I'm sure they could make a great game on the Luminous engine, as long as it was, scoped and designed correctly. Because that engine seems to be able to do really good stuff with really big environments.
Yeah. 13 didn't do that. Well, it had big environments, so you just couldn't walk through all of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but like, if you've watched the documentary from
No Clip
on Horizon Zero Dawn, about how Killzone Shadowfall has huge environments, and it was actually them testing for Horizon Zero Dawn's open world. That environment is roamable. You can roam around it if you can bust through the walls that they've put in place. Because the rest of, it's these big, giant vistas and great looking stuff, which you can't walk in because the game corridors you in. If you bust through the coding, you can actually walk around the entire level in the city, because they were trying to figure out how to make an open world. I'll bet you could probably do that in Final Fantasy 13 as well. I bet you could bust... Like, if you can bust through the coding and get through the barriers they put in, you could probably walk around that whole thing. Yeah. But the thing is, again, that was the Luminous engine on a PS3. Yeah. And then trying to figure... Like, and PS3 has its own development issues. So, it looks great. And they were never going for an open world game in that game. Yeah. They were going for a linear story. Yeah. They transported over to the Final Fantasy 15 map, and that thing is just gorgeous.
I will say, to even count my own self, Final Fantasy 13 2 has open areas, and it still looks great.
And Final Fantasy 2 also is bigger. Like, it's just bigger in general than 13. There's more areas in that game than there is in the previous. And also, like, the different layering of areas. Like, now it's snowy and 10 years later or whatever.
Wow. Now thinking about it, like, they developed that game really quickly, and it does a lot. Like,
there's a lot in that game. So, like, they can do quick turnaround. They've proven that the Luminous engine can do great stuff very quickly, and doesn't need to take forever, because only a 2-year turnaround, I think.
To be fair, like, a lot of assets were built so they could, a lot of assets, like, Majora's Mask is sort of, but then the systems they built. No, you're right. Like,
there's a lot. There's a lot for the quick turnaround. Like, the engine can't be that busted if they're turning around 13.2 as quickly as they did. And there's got to be something there that's really workable.
And then 13.3. I know 13.3 doesn't look as good as the other two, but
Yeah, you're right.
I just noticed the Tech Foundry, Digital Foundry, they did the graphic comparison with the X version, and this is the one that scales up the least, because it just wasn't put that much effort into it.
Yeah, that one has a little bit more. That one's the one that feels the most slapped together. Yeah. But 13.2 is like a really, really good game. It's a criminally underrated game. But yeah, like I said, it's not the engine that's the problem here. It's the things vision surrounding the engine. Much like another story we'll talk about later. But yeah, the effects of the whole consolidation from a few weeks ago have started to come through. So, what's that? Naoki Hamaguchi is now co-director of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yes. What was he in before?
He was just a main programmer. Like, he started on 12 as just a regular dude programming, and then he worked his way up through pretty much 13, 13.2, 14. He like got higher and higher position, like lead programmer stuff. And now he was project leader or something like that for 15, and then like they just straight up gave him the promotion of co-director. Okay, cool. And I think Tetsuya Nomura said he's very much in the similar position as Tayasue is on Kingdom Hearts. Right. Basically, Nomura is the visionary. Yeah. The co-director is the dude who gets things done.
Yes.
Sort of a producer. Yeah, sort of a producer, but like, I don't know, also actually directing when Nomura is out designing Batman figures.
The director who's broad strokes, like this is the crazy vision, and then co-director who's like, we can't do that, stop it. And co-directors seem to give Nomura, like, those are the people that make the games come out. Yes. Like, without Tayasue, we wouldn't have gotten the amount of Kingdom Hearts games that we would have. It would have just been 1, 2, 3. Oh no, what a shame.
You know what I mean?
Fucking
though, from like a
Jesus, imagine a world where we only had Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3. Fuck, eh?
But like that fandom wouldn't have been what it is. Like the genre just like come back a bunch of we've seen it before and it's been fine. Not genre, that's the wrong word, but
no,
it just would have been a dead franchise that they just brought back out of nowhere.
Actually, I don't think that's the yes. To some extent, yes, but also to some extent, like they haven't really created it. What's the opposite of a fandom? Like a hatedom. like a fandom based purely on hate and rage.
That's a fandom.
Like it's not. Like at no point was there like the Kingdom Hearts fandom was like a fandom at Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, this game's pretty cool. Like, it's not the best, but like, no, we like this idea. And then the second they released any other version of Kingdom Hearts, it suddenly turned into this seething pile of hatred and confusion. And that's what Kingdom Hearts fandom has been ever since.
I think you're looking at weird parts of the fandom, but that fandom exists
Looking
nonetheless.
at the parts of the fandom that are most vocal.
Yeah, yeah. I've gone around a long time.
I mean, again,
it's just like
read my review on the website. I love Kingdom Hearts 3. I can't take that franchise anymore.
No, I get it.
I can't. They had the chance to win me back and they couldn't do it with that fucking ending. Anyway.
Yeah. And then, what's the other part?
BD5 has now become the third development division.
Which means...
Yoshida helming the studio. What is that?
Naoko Yoshida is the 14 Realm Reborn director.
Oh, right.
So they're giving him a large-scale HD title for the next generation.
Yes, he was the guy who came in when Final Fantasy XIV was dying.
Yeah.
And just not working whatsoever. And he was the one that they brought in, and he like this is in the No Clip documentary.
Yeah, it's a great documentary. Please watch
where
it.
he was like, he's just like, I'm gonna bring you like everything funnels through me.
Yeah.
Like I'm the director now. Like grab all your shit, stop fucking around. He funnels it all through him. They basically like. I remember he cordoned off a section of the team and was like, you guys keep the game running as is. And
he kept it good. Like before Meteor, as it's called now, was good. Like that content got better. Like people were like, holy shit, like this MMO is getting good. Without even like, they did not announce a Realm Reborn. So people were like, what the fuck? And then then he had the idea of like, let's just do Cataclysm on this thing, but like even at a bigger scale. Yeah. When
we destroy this world, we're not just gonna like, everybody level resets. It's going to be the entire world just the whole thing, literally a Realm Reborn, and he was the head of that. He seems to be one of the few people in Square Enix that has the ability to have a vision and see it through.
Yeah.
That's just like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is how we get there, and just whips everyone into line and goes, and let's get it done.
I would say Tabata also, but he left. So 15 the weird safe, but he did weird scenario, but he did finish that project. And it was not his own, but like his other games like Third Birthday, Crisis Core were like solid games.
Yes, solid games, but like Yoshida, I think, proved that
you can do it on a grand scale.
Yes, like he's got the biggest scale and the biggest budget and the ability to corral in the rest of the company's issues. Yeah. That was the thing that I think is the most intriguing to me about him, is that he's not only able to finish a game, because like you can finish the game, that's fine.
Yeah.
But he's been able to navigate the waters between corporate and creative and get it working. So that's a really, really good. I hope he's around.
If he's doing 16,
God, I hope it is.
His game's going to be great. Like holy shit! Like if his creativeness and like just what you just said can go into 16, come out next generation, just fucking Final Fantasy 16. Reviews well, sells well, like it seems like it'll be back on track. Like it's been rickety since 12. Yeah. Or even 10 too. Since Square Enix formed, it's been rickety.
Yes.
Like, get back on track with a solid lead,
The Square part of Square just doesn't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
Ever since they absorbed Enix, they just don't know what to do with their old IPs. And they just need someone to come in and just right the ship.
Yeah, and he'll be great. Like, again, if Square can put their mitts on stuff, just like can't do it this way, but like he should have enough carte blanche if he made Final Fantasy XIV the second most popular MMO.
Yes,
it only outmatches to World of Warcraft, which what the fuck?
Yeah,
like
which
he nailed it. He won.
Yes.
He beats everyone.
Yes, which I think is why I want him in charge, because like I said, he has somehow this man has the ability to navigate the corporate and the creative.
Yeah.
Because he was able to get what he wanted done. And because like again, anyone out there, go watch the No Clip documentary on this thing, where he talks about how I think he went to the board of directors with like 3 pitches for what to do with the Realm Reborn. And it's like these are the 3 possible outcomes that we can do.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, what do you want? He's like, well, I want to do this one, which was the like reset, rebuild. And he's like, it's the most risky, but it's the one that we can it's the one that if we do it right, will right the ship completely. Everything else is just a band-aid fix. Yeah. This is what we need to do. And they agreed to it. Like I think he even has like expresses a bit of like, I can't believe they did, but they did.
Yeah, considering what I know about Square Enix's corporate structure, let alone him actually being a lead in that corporation, I can't imagine just do that.
Yeah, So whatever it is that this guy has over them, I hope he keeps on it, because he'll do great.
Stormblood and Heaven's Ward, and there's a new one coming out. I'll scroll up. They've all been good as well. Like coming out, they all seem good. I'm like, I want to play I want to play Final Fantasy 14. Oh, it's an MMO and it's like super grindy and the controls are weird and it's like should be played on a PC, but I don't necessarily want to. You can hook your thing up, your keyboard up to a PlayStation 4, but then that just feels weird.
It's all a bit
16. Hopefully, will be great.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about this?
I want to say something about it.
Say something about it.
So there's been a lot of debate around Sekiro's difficulty. Specifically in respect to From Software as a company as a whole.
Yeah.
About how their games tend to be incredibly difficult. And there are people that are frustrated with that. But then there are people who are... That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
They're there for the difficulty. And so... There has always been a call for From Software to do something about it. This is a real problem. The issue is that everyone always looks at this as these are just people who aren't good at games complaining about how hard the game is. But there are people out there who, because of whatever reason, cannot physically play this game the way it is designed currently. Difficulty aside, because of the way that they generally use the full controller, it's difficult.
Yeah.
In a way that's different.
Yeah.
And so adding an easy mode would allow people who otherwise cannot access this game to enjoy this experience. There are people who think that shits on the integrity or whatever.
Yeah.
And I agree with the general sentiment of no game's ever been made worse because it has an easy mode. Ever.
Yeah.
There's no, none of Wolfenstein is probably the worst example of it. It has an easy mode, but it shits on you for doing it because it makes you you're the baby mode.
Yeah.
But that game's still great.
Yeah.
Even in easy mode, that game is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it worse.
Easy mode just makes it feel like Doom, which is kind of how they
what you want.
Yeah.
Which I think the game is better for having an easy mode. No, and they're right. No game is worse for having an easy mode. Now, the argument that I've seen around is not every game has to be for everyone.
Yes. That's sort of the boat I'm in. Despite, yes, you can...
I agree. But you should be allowed to choose whether that game is for you or not, is my stance. A game being made that's not for everyone, that is specifically excluding a certain amount of people for whatever reason, I think is wrong. Everyone should have the chance and opportunity to play a game. All I'm saying with the From Software games is I think that the way they've designed the control system and the difficulty spike excludes a certain number of people who aren't bad at games.
Yeah.
They just don't have the means to play these particular ones physically. An easy mode would alleviate that. I think yes, not every game has to be for everyone, but I think that's more in the vein of genre choosing.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of first-person shooters. That's fine.
Yeah.
That game's not for me. so I won't play that game. But a game like Sekiro, where there are people who like really want to play the game but can't, and the response is, well, the games aren't for everyone. Well, fucking come on.
The thing I've been coming back to is why, like, what makes this... Why can't people enjoy this game when there are like other options out there? Like, it's just an idea. I don't mean this in earnest, but necessarily like Ghost of Tsushima's coming out. Like, that's a samurai game you can just wait up to a year for to come out, which is a lot. But like, if you're specifically wanting Sekiro for the boss design, for the level design, for the experience it gives you, which it seems awesome, even difficulty aside, like, I get that. What am I driving at? Yeah, I just don't know why people want to play this specific game regardless of talent or ability.
I think the other thing is that people are getting caught up on this specific game. So
I even mean, yeah.
Like what I think everyone's like Sekiro has just been the next. It's the next game in the vector of this.
Yeah.
Of like it's another touch point where we can start talking about it, because what this really is about is that there is a secondary layer to all of the From Software games that is that a part of the game is not just playing it, it is the community around it. The Dark Souls thing where like the story is really obscure and ambiguous and it's in item descriptions and not really there.
Yeah.
But as the game was released and as people were playing it over the months since the release, the community evolves and grows and starts to like piece it together and talking to each other, and there's that weird multiplayer aspect in Dark Souls where you can have different bits and pieces, and that experience is part of what the game is. And if you're physically unable to play that game, then you don't get that experience. And Sekiro doesn't have some of those pieces, but you're right. There is that stuff of like the core idea behind the game, the mechanics, the parry system, the pose, what's it called, posture breaking and stuff like that. All that stuff is stuff that we're not saying to get rid of. We want to keep that in there because that's the core experience of the game. All we're suggesting is that perhaps you make some of those windows a little bit longer for those who may have a disability that impairs them from being able to hit that R1 button as quickly as a normal person would. Or perhaps you design the game with a secondary set of control features that allows someone to be able to play that game with only one hand, like you were saying before. That's a really handy feature. Like, Pokemon Let's Go is one of the craziest things because it actually is it's the first game I've ever heard of that you can entirely play one-handed.
Yeah.
So if you are missing a limb, you are able to play that game and you literally lose 0 experience. So that's amazing. That's incredible.
I know I've read articles with Pokemon Let's Go that because people don't have mobility in their arms, they can't do the throwing mechanic. So that's where 1 point gained, you lose other points in accessibility, which I think as an industry we're figuring it out. We haven't cracked it because games are so complex. When we do one thing for one set of people with disabilities, it can lose on others.
And I think
nothing's perfect.
I think I saw a tweet this morning about how, and it was basically someone saying that like not all games are for everyone. Have to be for everyone, I think was the exact word. And that sentiment rubs me the wrong way now. I probably used to agree with that to some certain degree. But now that I'm more thinking about it, it's like, yes, I agree with that sentiment, generally speaking. But the person should be allowed to make the choice if that game is not for them or not.
Not based on their ability to play it or not.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I think that's what the easy mode debate is coming from, is that like people want to experience this game. Why are you shutting it off for them? Because like it's like not all games are everyone. It's like, no, that argument should be left for people who are saying I don't like Sekiro because I don't like this and this. Not all games for everyone. So this one's not for me. So I'm just not going to play it. That's fine. That argument is absolutely valid. But someone saying, I really want to play Sekiro, but I'm just not good enough, or I just don't have the physical ability to play through all of it, but I really want to know what happens in that story. I really want to know what it feels like to be in that world. All I need is an extra couple seconds on the dodge timing and I'd be fine. Telling that person to get good is just like, it's such a shitty thing to do. And that person should be allowed to make the choice of like, I want to try and play that game. And it doesn't, and I just think that the argument, it doesn't destroy the artistic integrity of the game to add an extra mode that's easier. Because the original game, as intended, is still there. And can be accessed at any moment by anyone. That's just me. Like, that Sekiro stuff has been pissing me off for about a day or two now. It's dumb.
Not a counterpoint, just a point I have is there's so many games in the world. And they all cost super expensive, like $60+. I guess my point is, why this specific game when there's so many other options for, like, on so many different platforms? So like,
I think the catch up always in this situation is like, well, why do you want to play this game? It's like, well, why does it matter? They want to play that game. Why are we saying no? Like, why are we telling them, no, you can't play that game for some arbitrary reason that this thing has to be difficult in order to exist? That's the thing that I'm trying to get at. It's like, yes, there are hundreds of games out there that do the exact same thing. I will say this is one of the very few games in this style and genre. Like, this particular... Like, one of my friends at work has been dying for a feudal Japan video game that is good for years, and he is going to play this game regardless of how much it kicks his ass.
Did he play Neo?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure that he knows that it exists.
Yes, he's playing Neo, he's frothing at the mouth for Neo 2, he can't wait for Ghost of Tsushima. Like, he's the one who's, like, he's one of my friends who's, like, a huge Assassin's Creed fan, and has been begging for them to do a feudal Japan Assassin's Creed since... Two, yes. So he's one of those, and he's going to play this game no matter what. But, you know, like you said, like, there's Neo, and then there's...
Ghost of Tsushima coming soon.
And then there's Tenchu. Like...
Dynasty Warriors.
Like, there's
I get what you mean.
A lot out there, and when people try and when you keep restricting it down, like, even Ghost of Tsushima seems like it's going to be a little bit of a timing based thing. So I don't.
Seems like Spider-Man levels of complexity.
Yeah, I don't think that game's going to be for these people either. So like, it just keeps coming back to the thing of like, and Neo is a Dark Souls like as well.
Yeah.
So like, when you look at the games in this genre in this era, it's like, okay. People want to make the argument. There's plenty of games up there. All right, cool. Neo's a Dark Souls like, so they can't play that. This Sekiro game is too difficult, so you can't play that. I guarantee you Ghost is going to be like super...
Ghost of Tsushima will have an easy mode though, because it's a Sony game and they always have easy modes.
Maybe, so that's one. And then you keep going down the list of like these types of games from long ago, like what, Ninja Gaiden and shit like that.
That's also a very good point, because Ninja Gaiden also fucking hard.
Exactly. So you keep going down the list of like, okay, so if there's a person out there with, say, a disability or and maybe not a physical one, maybe a learning one, or maybe just someone who's not very good at games. And you're telling them like, oh, there's plenty of games out there, just play one of those, and you go down the list of games
specifically feudal Japan.
Exactly. The list is one that isn't even out yet.
Yes. So you have a good point. Yes.
Like it just like I think the argument needs to stop being like, oh, it's going to destroy the game. Like, oh, no games are for everyone. It's like, no. Okay, why are we denying access to this particular game for this particular set of people? Why? And if your argument is artistic integrity, fuck you. Because that's not a thing. Like, that's not a.
The artistic integrity is not affected by
it's not affected by adding an extra mode in top of it. All it does is allow extra people to play the game that, again, it may not be the original vision or intent, but that's it. And there have been plenty of people out there who said, like, it doesn't even need to be an easy mode in Sekiro specifically.
An accessible mode.
Not even that, like, because the game itself actually, like, even people with disabilities, like learning disabilities or physical ones, would probably be eventually, because the nature of human beings, like, you just keep trying at something, you'll eventually get there. You know, I went to school with a girl who was an amputee, missing a leg, and she was awesome, fucking coolest chick I've ever met. She has a prosthetic leg. She refuses to wear it because it's uncomfortable. She doesn't like it.
Yeah.
So we did this like camp thing once. We were split up into teams, and she was on mine, and there was a challenge where you had to like go across this. It's like a log, and it was like hanging from 4 chains, so it like swayed a lot, and it wasn't very good. But it was like the challenge was like you had to get across the log. And it was quite difficult. Like you had to have pretty good balance. You either had to be really quick and just get across that thing in like a second and a half, or you had to have extremely good balance and like be able to recover and stuff like that. And the challenge they gave everyone was like, well, the entire team has to make it across, and if you make it across, you get like a prize or something. Yeah. And we got everyone across, and then it came to her, and it was like, oh, well, what are we gonna do? And she was like, we'll do it. And she just grabbed her crutches, just jumped up on the thing, and made it across. It took 5 minutes, but she took her time, step by step. We all gathered around her so she wouldn't fall off. Yeah. And, kept her stable in that way. But she just very slowly, very calmly got across, like literally one step at a time. Yeah. And it was an incredible thing to watch. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that if you just gave them the time and gave them something that was a little less problematic with Sekiro, they could get there eventually. The point that was made for a lot of people was that Sekiro has a revive mechanic. Yeah. That, if you revive too much, has a penalty to it, which that becomes a problem later on in the game. The suggestion I saw was just like, make that revive unlimited, remove that penalty, done. The game is now suddenly an easy mode. And that's all it needed to be. You could leave everything else exactly as it is. You don't have to change the invincibility frames. You don't have to change the animation. You don't have to change the timing, the health bars, any of it. You just need to give the player the ability to just continually revive, so they can just keep plodding away at the same thing and eventually figure it out and get it. And get that same amount of satisfaction the other people do. Yeah. So instead of doing it in one shot, it takes you 10 or 12, whatever. That's all it needs to be done. And there has been people across all of From Software's games specifically, because they seem to be the touchstone of this, where Bloodborne and all the Dark Souls games all have like a simple, I don't know them off the top of my head, but they all seem to have like just one simple like mechanic change that isn't detrimental to the way the game plays and feels. It's just like it's a periphery thing that if that change was made, suddenly this game is 1 billion times easier. That's all it needs to be. And if that's all it needs to be, I don't see why it's not done. Like, it just needs to be a mode, even if it's after release, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's just a mode that you need to put into the game that you don't have to. And that's the thing that I want to say, that I wanted to say to the other thing of, like, not all games are for everyone. Well, guess what, dude? Not all modes in a game are for everyone. If you don't want to play the easy mode, don't play the easy mode. Yeah. Yeah. What a revelation that is. Like, it just rings disingenuous and hollow. It rings like a section of gamers who want to have this thing for themselves. Like, we're gamers, this is ours. This is ours. Yeah. You can't have it. Okay, fine, whatever. Shitty fandoms are shitty. Yeah.
And Dark Souls and the Soulsborne community is not the greatest. In terms of, it is very exclusionary.
Yes, it is very exclusionary. But hey, Sekiro, it looks like a great game. I will play it sometime in the next couple of weeks, and we'll talk about it. Yeah. Let's get on to more fun stuff. Wall Street Journal got a piece out there about Switches.
Yeah, the Switch. There's going to be 2 models coming out soon, probably. The Switch Pro and the Switch Lite. That's not what he called it, but that's what I'm calling it.
Yeah, no, that's a good way of explaining. Yeah, it's a good way of explaining it. Like, if you want to kind of visualize or figure out what these might be, a Switch with more processing power. Bets on whether they just call it the new Switch.
Probably new Switch, yeah.
The new Switch, and then Switch Lite would be a really good idea.
Lite invokes the DS Lite, and that's one of the best forms of hardware of all time. Yeah. So looking at a DS Lite, a 3DS Lite rather, or did they just go
2DS.
XL? Okay.
The 2DS is essentially the 3DS Lite because it's basically it's certain things removed. The thing is lighter. Yeah. It is built with a tougher plastic. Like it's the same thing, but that's what the 2DS was. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we've got a Switch Pro, which by all accounts looks like it's a beef in processing power, possibly a better screen.
That's the other thing I've heard, that people are 1080p screen. It is constantly outputting dock mode. I'm cool. OLED would be cool, but I don't see Nintendo forking out for OLED.
No, it would be cheaper just to get a 1080p LED screen.
That's what they're going to do.
So that seems to be the way. And then the Switch Lite, which Again, we don't really have details on it. We just know that these two things are a possibility, that they want to do a version of the Switch that is cheaper and... what the wording was, it's going to be a cheaper version of the Switch, and it will be a handheld-only mode. Yeah. So there's no details on that, but the speculation is Joy-Cons that don't come off.
Yeah.
Possibly a lighter, like a more plasticky, like durable version of the Switch. So for kids and stuff like that.
The 2DS Dual Stop for Switch.
Yes, yeah.
That's the official name, isn't it? The 2DS Dual Stop.
The what?
The 2DS Dual Stop.
Oh yeah, the stub. Yeah. No, I think it's
just the 2DS itself. The original version looks like a door stop.
Oh yeah.
I was joking. Yeah.
Sorry, I just totally zoned out there for a second. I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then I remembered, yes, the block of cheese they released with the screen in it. Yeah.
Did you just purge that from your memory?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. No, when I think 2DS, I always get like, ugh. Then I remember I am looking into a new 2DS XL. I'm like, that would be good.
Yeah, they're nice. They're really, really nice. Like, and they are like again, like the new 2DS XL is like, it's the size of a 3DS XL, but it's so much lighter. Like, honestly, I picked one of those up and was like, what the is there anything in here? Like, it honestly just feels like it's the plastic casing. Like, I'm just like, I don't actually know if there's a...
Kind of feels like the PS3 controller.
Kind of, yeah. Like, with the weight of the game comes from the cartridge inside it. Like, you're like, what is going on? It's bizarre. But yeah, that's the Switch... The Switch Lite, which, like, it does raise a bunch of questions. Like, if it's portable mode only, can this thing be docked to a TV at all?
At all.
Because it's just a USB-C pass-through that does it. So, like, what's the charging? So, like, what money is Nintendo saving by removing the TV pass-through? I don't know if there's any.
Yeah. I know in Japan there's the version you can buy that is just the Switch itself, but you can also buy the dock later.
Yes,
so if you want that, I know a lot of Japan is a very portable society. The
other thing is, like, does this Switch Lite then support multiplayer? Because if the Joy-Cons are strapped to it, you can't move them. Yeah. If you can sync another controller to it, what's it? Someone just looking over your shoulder the whole time?
I see what you mean. Yeah.
And then, like, okay, can you sync a Pro Controller to it? So can I put this thing on a stand and then have two other Pro Controllers sync to it, and then it, like, deactivates the controller? Like, how does this work?
Interesting.
Like, the idea of having the controllers just bolted to the side of it, it's really weird, because my thought with the Switch Lite is actually, do they change the name entirely? Because the whole point of the Switch is that it can go from portable to docked. It is both in one.
Yeah.
Do they keep the name Switch when this thing is primarily designed for to be portable only? It's just a weird, like, what are they going to call this thing?
Yeah.
Is my question. And what are they going to do with it?
The Switch Go.
Maybe?
Pokemon Go sold well for them, so...
Yeah. I mean, it's like, and then there's the thought of me that's like, maybe they won't do the thing where they... Like, maybe it won't be the Joy-Con strapped to it. Maybe the Joy-Cons can be detached from it still, in some capacity, and maybe they've just reworked that so it's a little bit sturdier.
Yeah.
There's a possibility there. The Switch Pro, again, is the processing power, the better screen. I wonder what that means. I'm hoping that actually is less processing power and more battery life.
You could probably do both, maybe.
Well...
The tech is a little bit old, and I know they're putting more processing power into it, but like...
Yeah, but more processing power inherently means that more power is needed to run it, so draining battery quicker, so they need to put a new battery into it at least.
Does the new DSs have better battery life than the regular DSs?
Yeah, they did.
3DSs, rather. Yeah, so that's more processing power, not a significant amount. And this is not like a PS4 to PS4
Well, the thing with the 3DSs that's really weird is that, like, they pretty much, like, every year, without telling anyone, they did iterations on the hardware.
Okay.
So when you bought a 3DS XL, say 2 or 3 years after it was released, the battery life in those things was better than the original ones because they just did slight upgrades and tweaks over time. The screens got slightly better, the plastic got slightly better, and the battery life got better as it went along. So they do a lot of that kind of stuff out of the gate. But yeah, that's really interesting. It looks like they're be this year.
Yeah, the report said like by the end of April or May, or was it March or April?
It was May.
It's fucking soon.
It was soon, and it, like, honestly, again, the Switch Lite makes perfect sense with a Pokemon game coming out this year.
Yeah.
Because Pokemon is traditionally the handheld game.
Yeah.
So, yes, this will be a Pokemon game that will be on a home console for the first time, but there are people who just don't want to do that.
Because the Switch is fairly expensive. So, that's the thing about the DS, is especially now, you can buy those things Australian, $150 max.
Yes.
Like, that's great. So if you can like just get that sort of audience for Pokemon, if you can get the price down low enough, it onboards the audience quicker, and then you have that model to keep there for the next Pokemon game that comes out, and that hardware will get cheaper by the nature of just the age of it.
Yeah, and it also gives you like having different iterations of the hardware gives you way more chances to like another Pokemon Collector's Edition of the Switch. Not as incentivizing anymore. But if it's the Switch Lite Pokemon version, that'd be cool. Because I would think that the Lite would be the Pokemon console, and the Pro would have something else.
Zelda, Link's Awakening.
Yes, something like that. Or some other game they haven't announced yet.
Mario Odyssey 2.
Well, what if that new Zelda... I don't know if you saw that story, but they're hiring for the new Zelda game.
Yeah, that's not coming out this year.
No. That'll be coming out in 2 or 3 years. But like that's the kind of game that could take advantage of a Pro.
Yeah, easily. Yes. Well,
and I would hope there would be some backwards results as well. Like I would hope that current Breath of the Wild runs better on a Switch Pro.
We'll see.
Again, I'm using the word Switch Pro, but we don't actually know what it's called yet. So this is just what it is. Like I said, like there was
Switch XL,
like the new Switch.
Yeah, that's probably the most likely.
Yeah,
I could also seeing it being completely different. Like Switch Beef or something.
Because they do that. They do that a lot. Like Nintendo's naming convention is weird. Yeah. So they could come up with something totally different. Like you could be looking at like the Switch X and the Switch S or the Switch.
Yeah, they could pull an iPhone.
I mean, like in Japan, it was the new 3DS new 3DS LL. Then there was just the new 3DS, and then they'll come up with something. Yeah. And it'll be baffling, and we won't have it. We'll be like, "What the fuck have you done?" Because that's Nintendo. But it'll still sell like.
It'll sell well.
Yeah, it'll sell like water at the end of the world. And then finally, there were some major Switch leaks out of Best Buy, backed by Wario64. For those who don't know, Wario64, a major leaker, has been able to predict and leak like numerous things well in advance. And they have backed this particular leak. We're looking at Persona 5 on Switch. Sure. The Metroid Prime trilogy, which has been rumored for ages.
Again, I'm never sure if that's a rumor or if that's fan demand evolving into rumors. Because that's sort of like, rumors. I'm like, no, I just know you guys talk about it a lot. Like,
yes, I mean, it feels like the kind of thing that, like, ever since Metroid Prime 4 was announced, and people have been hyped for that game, there's definitely possibly someone at Nintendo going, they really want that game. It's not coming along very well. What can we do in the meantime? Like, throw a trilogy at them, it'll be fine.
Bayonetta did the same thing. Bayonetta 3 was announced, and then 2 with 1 came out. And like for the Switch, I'm like, cool, do that again for Metroid Prime. And like Metroid Prime, I know the first one is such a important game in the context of
video games,
and it's so good. Like I would love to play the first one. I know the next 2 aren't as good, but they're still good.
And in good context, and also for Metroid Prime 4, which I think the audience is fairly niche still. Like, you're not looking at a wide swath of people. The Metroid Prime trilogy gives the ability to introduce new fans to the series. So when 4 comes out, you've potentially doubled your fan base and doubled your numbers.
It's me. I'm a Metroid fan, but I'm not a Metroid Prime fan yet.
So
I've never played them. I don't want to go back to my... I never had a GameCube. And I know the Wii's backwards compatible, but I have to buy a GameCube controller, and that's a whole thing.
The whole thing's a nightmare. And then A Link to the Past.
Which... That's interesting. Like, is that just straight up Link to the Past? Are they also doing a Link's Awakening type remake? Are they... Like, what is it?
There's A Link to the Past. Which one's that?
That's the third game. That's the really big one.
Original. That's not the remake of the 3DS.
That's Link Between Worlds. That's like a spiritual successor.
Yes, right.
Link Between Past is the original Super Nintendo game. I'm playing it at the moment. It's really good.
So I wonder, I wonder what that'll be. Like, I guess with the Link's Awakening coming out, there's a possibility that maybe this is it. Maybe Nintendo's finally figured out that Zelda's a really good franchise to bank on, and maybe they'll do a Link to the Past, like Link to the Past in a similar style as Link's Awakening, and they'll just release it next year. Like, they announce it this year, release it next year.
It's odd because it does. Awakening is a sequel. It's like the Game Boy sequel to Link to the Past.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fact that they're coming out like reverse order is a little bit weird, but
yeah.
What they need to bank on is put Wind Waker HD, preferably with Twilight Princess HD on the Switch.
I saw a thing this morning saying that's most likely happening.
Good.
I can't remember who it was.
Just port it straight up. I also want the 3D games ported up. Just mix that around, but I'm happy for it to like look as good as it does just 1080p. I just want to play Majora's Mask. I haven't played it.
Yeah. It was a tweet. I can't remember where it was from though, but someone was like, "Yes, it looks like that. Those will actually
good." I want to say as well, like people are super interested in Persona 5, not just because Joker is a DLC character for Super Smash, but some people think that Sony has exclusive rights to Persona, and it's just the games that have come to the Persona games that have come to PlayStation just haven't left it.
Yeah.
Like Golden is a remake on the Vita. Like Persona 3 Fez is a PSP redo on PSP.
Yeah.
But they're still all the same thing. Whereas people are like, but it's a Switch version. A lot of there's a fuck ton of Persona announcement coming at the end of the month, so we'll know by then. This could also be a Walmart Canada situation in terms of they're just guessing what's coming.
Yes, there's that too. Yeah, which is because a lot of that in Walmart Canada stuff just never came out.
Like Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bunch of stuff. But there was stuff in there. Like, Rage 2 was... I think that one they had actual information on.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other games that were in there.
I couldn't find it, but yes, I did see a tweet this morning from someone, and it wasn't like a
someone. It was a someone.
Yes, yeah. It was not like a high end, like it wasn't like GameSpot or IGN tweeting it, but it was like some sort of like person that would know shit.
Yeah.
Tweeted and said something along the lines of like, look, that Wind Waker HD remake and the
Twilight Princess remake.
Actually, it might have been the Beast cast last week.
Okay.
I think they might have talked about it. Either way, it looks like those two HD re-releases from the Wii U being ported to the Switch is very, very likely.
I want it to be a collection, but I doubt they'll just sell them. They'll just sell them separately.
They will make money off it as best they can.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move into the big story. It feels like that's how we're going to do this thing from now on.
Yeah.
It's like the big story is the end, so we'll probably cut it off here and you'll get a new part.
Hour 15.